Hello, and welcome to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to find podcasts. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent merchant brokers. Low cost and no cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Join Boson Hub Digital Development in supporting Kicking Cancer. Kicking Cancer provides support, education, and resources for cancer patients, survivors, and families. Kicking-cancer.org. More than just a home, the Arbor at Avamere Court in Kaiser. Arbor at AvamereCourt.com. Assisted living at Avamere at Albany. AvamereAtAlbany.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Experts in luxury home sales, farm and ranch, commercial, business sales, and land developments. On the web at dore.llc.
And now, your hosts for the Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Here we are. Woohoo! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. There we are. We are focusing on local peeps like all of you listening today, right, Scott?
Yeah, it's I love this time of year. My wife loves the fall with the leaves changing and the different spring is my absolute favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree more. Just had a beautiful walk with my beautiful wife. Actually, two. One, Kyla came along, our daughter, and we walked the Capitol Mall with the beautiful cherry blossoms. And
I saw some pictures. It's beautiful.
Yeah. The second time we went was with 2,000 of our closest friends. It was packed. It was like the day before we were supposed to have this torrential thunder, lightning, possible tornado storm. So everybody decided they better go see the cherry blossoms before they got blown off the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a good time.
Christina and I have pictures from us walking in those blossoms last year.
Yep.
It's hard to imagine that it's. I was just thinking, weren't we just there?
I'm sure you miss Oregon because there's nothing like the beauty of Oregon.
It's wonderful. We're just talking to some folks about driving along the coast, and I told them because they were talking about Oregon and Washington. I'm like, the Oregon coast, absolutely. The Washington coast, it's just a marsh. Go to the Sound, right?
There's not a lot there in Washington for sure. And I've been to the Texas coast, by the way, in the Gulf. Yeah. Kind of slimy and oily, not quite like the Oregon coast. At least that was where I went.
The spectacular views there, no. So, but
well, it's so great to have you. It's so great to see you, Scott. And I know that you had a great weekend and a busy week last week. Tell everybody about
we were
the
at
Library
the
Association.
Texas Library Association Conference. And so it was in Dallas this year. So we were there with Liz Lawless and a bunch of other folks in the Dynamic Authors Group, which is a group that Liz puts together of independent authors, which is unusual. There's the big folks like World Book was right behind us, and a lot of the big names there, Tyndale and so forth. And then independent authors, right, just have their booth. But we were there together with, I think, 7 different authors. And so it was a lot of fun. We just had some great conversations with a lot of the librarians and folks there. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, it looked like there was a lot of excitement because Christine sent me pictures of everybody running in and flooding in. They were so excited.
It's really funny because in the exhibit hall where we were, they open it up at a certain hour, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And a lot of the bigger publishers give away books, and it's all announced. And so they're literally running to these different places where they can get their favorite author. Oddly enough, I was talking to some of the sellers there, like the Texas Library Association bookstore. The number one sellers, and this is for anyone that's thinking about writing a book and wants to sell it, it is young adult fiction is the top selling book there into the libraries. So
wow,
if you're thinking about writing a book this year, young adult, but let me give a plug for the book that Veronica and I did, which is Freeze in Action in the Face of a Business Crisis, how to react when the unexpected happens. I'll put a link in there to Amazon. So here's the deal. A lot of businesses are reacting to tariffs right now. And so you could look at that as a type of business crisis. Depends on where you're at. I'll just say last fall, you could have purchased this book, read it, and implemented some of the strategies about evaluating where your business is at risk and implementing some strategies. Then you would be responding to what's going on, because none of this was unannounced. It's all been the president is a candidate campaigned on what he's doing right now. So it's not unexpected in that sense. But anyway, I'm just saying, go to get Freeze in Action in the Face of Business Crisis. You can
got my copy.
Yep,
I highly recommend it. I got my copy and definitely want to do that. I just want to remind everybody, if you just need a lift in your mindset or perspective and you don't have a copy of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, coming out this fall, Life Happens and Then You Choose, my new book, so you can pick that up. We'll have more information on that. But for now, I think it's time to talk to Gina Defa White, who is
absolutely
a person. And I have just been so blessed to get to know her over the last couple of years, and just a wonderful, wonderful person. And I'm going to let her tell you all about herself. But first, I just want to remind everybody that we are here on the Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We're here every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. And don't forget, after we're done, this broadcast live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But on LinkedIn and YouTube, it sits there forever, and you can go back and watch it as a video podcast forever. Facebook, 30 days. Then, if you miss that, wait, there's more. You can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. And we would love for you to be part of our community. So great. For more information, you can go to, that's the wrong one. I got so excited. I put the wrong one up. There it is. Ta-da. Right. Local.theexperience.video. Local.theexperience.video is all the information about Scott and I and about our shows. Well, there's more experience shows. You can look that up on local.theexperience.video. And if you just want to subscribe to our YouTube page, it's growing. My animals are becoming more popular, and you can go to theexperience.video. And if you want to find out why my animals are getting popular, go to the shorts on our YouTube page.
Yeah. So never share the stage with animals or children.
That's right.
But I'm happy to share with Gina today. And
that's right.
And get some inspiration from her. She's in an industry that has huge opportunities for people. And I want her to be able to share what those are.
I'm excited. All right, let's bring Gina in. Good morning, Gina.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. So I'm a morning person and I'm a Monday person. So I love this. Mondays at 9 o'clock. Let's go. Let's start the week off right. I love it.
I'm with you. I'm a Monday person and a morning person. I'm like mornings, 4 a.m. Let's go. And everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I love it. So, well, listen, let's start at the very big basics. Who is Gina Defa White and what in the world are you up to?
Yeah. So I am a lot of things, Russ and Scott. I'm a leader here in the Salem community for Country Financial. I've been with the company for 21 years and held many, many roles. And I'm a wife and a mom In fact, this is interesting. My husband and I, second marriage for both of us. So we have a combined family, and thank goodness our kids are all grown up, because together we have 6 daughters. 3
Wow.
each. Yeah. We each brought 3 into it. So that's fun. And they're from 21 to 37 years old. We got 7 grandkids together. So yeah,
A
that's
great Christmas time has got to be just fun. Are they? So is your family close by, spread out?
yes. So they're spread out. Yeah, they're spread out a little bit. There's 1 in New Jersey, 2 in Texas, and then 3 in Seattle.
All right, I have to
Wow.
ask, where in Texas?
Yes, in Wichita Falls.
Okay,
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
I have no idea where that is. Do you know where that is, Scott?
I don't know.
Scott's a new Texan, so he's just figuring all this stuff out. But Gina, you know what? I love the the whole vibe and the whole community culture at Country Financial is amazing. I've been able to work with Country for years in different facets, and I'm so thankful for that. But here on the Experience Local, we talk a lot about our local community and local business. And even though Country is a big company, you act like a local company here taking care of people. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's very important to us. It's always been part of our culture to be in the community. It's just who we are. We're very, you hear a lot, oh, it's like a family, right? A family organization. And it really is. And we want our agents who have their agencies out in the community here in the Willamette Valley. In my district, we have 23 agents, and they all have their own clients. They get to run their businesses the best way for them and their teams and their clients. Of course, they represent our brand, but our brand loves that. We pour resources into the community. They get to pour resources into the community. And just, the key is always that we're helping those in the community protect what's most important to them. That, that's your family always, right? But income is what we need, income to protect everything that we have. And with the insurance products, we're able to consult with people and provide that protection. And then the investment products to help them grow their income.
And Gina, we talked before we turned everything live here that I actually worked with Country as a representative a number of years ago. One of the things that I liked when I was investigating the company was that it was, I will say, very conservative. And I looked at a couple of things. One of them was, what did they do during the big financial crisis? Well, they did really well because they didn't go for a lot of the products of the day, right? It was just very stable. The other thing was looking at the customer reviews following claims. And it was like the #1 rated company when I looked, because, and I remember talking to Tim Harris and Ray Garrison at the time, because they were the ones interviewing me. And I said, I appreciated that because everyone talks about how much money you can save and get you in the door. But insurance really only comes into play when something happens and you need the company to step in. And I appreciated that looking at a future employer. So can you talk about the career opportunities and why people would choose insurance, and specifically Country Financial?
Sure, you bet. When I bring a new agent on board, one of the first conversations we have is for them to learn to gently put a prospect in the claim. I used to say, you've got to put them in the claim. And then sometimes it was like too sudden. So now you're dead. What happens? Like, no. We need to very gently remind them that things can happen. You can have a house fire. You can have a bad car accident where you hurt another person or you yourself are hurt. So how do we gently put them in that claim situation to see how we can help with the insurance products? I joke a lot about consumers a lot of times now are buying insurance based on how much they can save. they're getting advice from Flo and a Gecko on what to buy. And we still have the sit across the table experience. We do a lot of things now virtually. We meet with clients that way, but we want to talk to people. We want to really understand what we're protecting, what's most important to them, so that we can start from that place. Now, we might say, you need this much coverage to cover everything you've got. And they say, we're only going to pay this much. And we say, that's okay. Let's figure it out, right? We'll get there. But let's make sure you know what you're buying, because at the end of the day, when a claim happens, people do not say, gosh, I paid too much for that coverage. And unfortunately, oftentimes what we hear is, I was paying for coverage and I didn't know that I wasn't covered for this, and that. So I think one of the best things about being an agent at Country is having a brand and a culture behind you that supports, one, taking time to consult with your client. We're not trying to sell people things. We're trying to consult, find out what we're protecting, but also that we know that we're going to be there in the claim. We have one of the best claim satisfaction ratings across the board. And people are local right here. They will show up to help.
Yeah, and I love that. So local, the kind of culture the Country has is really drew me. I love spending time with people from Country just because of the culture and their high integrity and all that they, put out into the community. And I know that for myself, my faith is so important in everything that I do. It drives all of that. It drives the cultures that I'm around. It drives the people I'm around. Talk a little bit about how your faith leads into your business and all that you do and that culture at Country. So
I would say for me personally, my faith has always been so important to me. I know God knew me a lot longer before I knew him, right? He had to work with me to connect, but I think about the Country experience. I worked for 10 years at another company before I came to Country, and we had gone through a change, and I worked in an agency office, and we had gone through a change with that particular company. I knew that I wanted to move up and do something else. And my coworker had left at the same time, and she actually went to work for an agency office at Country and called me about 6 months later and said, this is where you're supposed to be. These are your people. You've got to come over here and talk with the manager about, getting a role over here. And I said, well, why is that? She said, because they let you talk to people. You can actually share your belief. You can share your love of people. We're not just trying to get a sale and get them out the door. And so in my life, God has always done that. He's opened up those next opportunities when I didn't even see them coming. My career at Country, again, I've been here for 21 years. And during that time, I've lived in 5 different states. I've had lots of different roles within the company. And each time was just an opportunity to grow as a person so that the next opportunity I would be a little bit better for myself, for the people I'm leading, but for most of all for God and the work that he has for me to do.
And all 3 of us here on the screen are empty nesters. And you talked about the daughters that you have. And obviously they were much younger when you started working with Country. Talk about integrating your faith in business and family. Yes.
I love that you use the word integrate, Scott. We hear a lot of people say balance, work-life balance. And I'm not a fan of balance because I immediately think of a teeter-totter. Something's up and something's down, and I don't want anything to be down, right? And so I say blend, integrate, blend. How do we blend all of that together? And you have to be purposeful, right? We have so many moving parts coming at us. We have to be purposeful, I think, in our day. For me, I was not raised in a safe home. I'll say that. I too have a book called Parakeet Drawing. That's my memoir. And it's about just a chaotic home life. And so I knew that as I had my daughters, and what a blessing it was to be a mom, but I didn't have an example of a mom. And so I was trying to create what that would look like and break a pattern. So when I came to work at Country Financial, at first as a rep, here you are starting a small business, and I was a single mom. I was newly divorced with 3 girls, and so that integration or that blending was just a non-negotiable for me. I needed to be able to see them right after school and make dinner. And that might mean that I met with clients from 6 to 8 o'clock at night, right? Or I was returning emails, or I was running quotes, or I was doing something, but I was going to make sure that I was breaking a pattern, and that my daughters, when they had their own kids, would have a better example of how to be a mom.
Yeah, I think that I love that, because I think that when we are forging a path as a parent, it's a lot of work, especially when you don't have a good example in front of you. And I think it's so important to involve the family in all that we do. And I love that, that you were, always with my kids, I was always looking to let them know what I was doing and kind of keep them informed, so they felt like they were part of my life outside of the family time we had at home, because they're at school all day and I'm already integrated in their school. Why not have them integrated and infused into my work, right? And so I used to take them to my office when they were little, and they loved it. Loved going to work with daddy. So that was always fun. So I love that, Gina. You have such an amazing personality, and so you work with a lot of people now in the position you're in, and you're running the whole a big chunk of Oregon right now. And so talk a little bit about that, how all of what we have just talked about helps you as you deal with other people to help bring them in and help them through their journey with country.
Yeah. Thanks, Russ. So the country has been through a lot, right? In the last 5 years, specifically, when we look at COVID and just everything that's happened. Country also went through a change at that time too. We changed our contract with our agents and have a different vision. We just celebrated, this year is our 100-year anniversary in business as a company. And so we are preparing for the next 100 years, and we've got to get our technology up to date and, just some things. And so it has not been an easy couple of years for the agents in general. And I would just say that I've always had a belief that God has a purpose for everyone, whether they're a Christian or not. There's a purpose for every single human. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has things that they're great at. I think that we can all, me included, get caught up in the chaos of the world and the things that are coming at us. And for me as a leader and working with people, I'm always trying to get the noise out and come back to, who are you? Who are you? What are you supposed to be accomplishing now? And it's not always, we're a sales team, but I want to know, what do you want the year to end like? What would give you joy in your heart? What would make you proud? What are you here for? Because when we work in those strengths and we stay focused on who we are, so many great things happen. So many great things happen, but we can get, thrown off kilter more often than not, really, right? So I would say, maybe to give one word for all of that, is love. We have to love people.
Oh man, I could not agree more. Well, listen, I'm going to jump in here and just start guiding us towards our finale, because I want to give you time to really still share with people. And first of all, if you have anything that we haven't asked you that you would like to get out there and let people know about that's happening with your country, we want to make sure and highlight that for you. Number 2, just really reiterate to people what you think is the most important thing we talked about, the gold nugget of today's conversation, and let people know what that is. And then last but not least, let everybody know how they get in touch with you, because we want to make sure people can reach out, whether they want to be an agent, whether they want insurance, whether they just want to learn more about all you're doing. They'll definitely want to reach out to you. So, all right, take it away.
Okay. All right. Catch me if I miss some of that, Russ. I would say my takeaway from today is that blending or that integration, right? If we can help people see that you can do all of these things, you don't have to set something aside. And but sometimes you need to find a mentor, you need to find a guide, you need to have a relationship with your church group, those kind of things that people can help with perspective. You can't do it by yourself. You've got to have that team. So that probably is my biggest takeaway from this. I would say about me, I do have a book, like I said, called The Parakeet Drawing. It's a tough read. I tell people when you're reading it, just know I'm okay. And the whole process of the book was to tell the truth about some things that happened to me. But there was one person that came into my life, and I'm not sure how old I was because I don't have some memory during my childhood, but I think I was around 11 or 12. And this person changed who I would become. And I think that's really important. He probably spent an hour with me. I never saw him again. I don't know who he was. He changed me. I woke up the next day and knew there were good people, and I wanted to be one of them. And as we go out into our days every day, that's so important to me that, random acts of kindness, and do we see people and do we show love? So that's probably a big thing about me. At Country, we're growing. We're growing in the Valley. I have positions open for insurance agents and financial advisors in Salem, Corvallis, Albany. So if anybody is interested in learning more about the career or just, wants to talk about their insurance, we're here to help. So the best way to reach me on LinkedIn, Gina Defa White. And then at Country, you can email me. It's gina.defawhite@countryfinancial.com. And I'll give you my phone number. I had to write it down because I don't ever call myself. So
that's the way it works in today's world.
Right? I don't know anybody's phone number anymore, not even mine. So it's 503-375-9670.
Say that one more time for everybody.
Yep, 503-375-9670.
And we do have the link on Amazon to Parakeet Drawing. You are worthy. So people can find that on Amazon.
Great, thank you.
And Gina, I want to confirm your email to make sure that I get this right. There's your phone number. We may have had this wrong, and I want to get it right. It's gina.defawhite@countryfinancial.com.
Yep.
So we're missing the white. We had gina.defa@countryfinancial.com. So we'll add that in, get that fixed. And yes, we want to make sure people get to the right email to you.
Thank you. They'll still forward it. Country's a great company. They're like, okay, you got married and added another name. Well, we'll keep you in the loop.
Well, good. Well, listen, it has been such a blessing to talk to you again. Looking forward to grabbing coffee again here in the near future. And we just want to thank you for blessing our audience today and such great information. We're going to say goodbye to you on screen, but hang tight in the green room for just a minute, and we'll see you on the other side.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Well, Scott, awesome as always.
The time always goes so fast. Great to spend time with Gina and just talk about this whole blending. I like the blending, right, of faith, family, work, your spiritual life. Everything comes together, right? And it's not this teeter-totter where something is up and down. So great words and inspiration today.
Yeah, no, what a blessing. And we got everything corrected there, and we'll add in the phone number to this as well, but we have this up on the screen. Gina.defawhite@countryfinancial.com, or phone number 503-375-9670. Make sure that you reach out to Gina. And, we are just blessed with amazing people and amazing friends, Scott. I'm just thankful every day.
It's great. And she was talking about this. Everybody has a purpose. God has a purpose for everybody. And I am a big believer in setting long-term plans. And so I put into the comments a link to independent-planner.com. There's an AI-powered tool down at the bottom that will help you in setting your long-term vision for yourself in 6 areas.
Perfect. Yeah. So do that today. And we're so thankful you're all here, but we got to wrap it up. We'll be here at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time next week. And that is 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time. Until then, have a blessed week, everybody, and enjoy
the local experience.
Woohoo. All right. See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Experience Local with Russ and Scott.